Welcome to the 2025 CONCACAF Champions Cup post-game press conference between Real Salt Lake and Herediano. Introducing to the main table is Real Salt Lake head coach Pablo Mastroeni. A friendly reminder for those of you in the room to please raise your hand if you have any questions and introduce yourself along with your media organization. If you're joining us virtually through the Zoom, please use the raise hand function and we'll call your name accordingly. Go ahead, Caleb.
Caleb Turner, KSL.com. What's your message to the guys after this one, I guess?
My message was, if you don't want to feel like shit on Saturday, then be better on Tuesday, right? I look at the score sheet and I say we had 30 shots on goal. We had 18 shots inside the box. I don't know how you come away with that, with one goal in that game, and you got to be killers, man. You got to get numbers inside the box. You got to be clinical. That game should have been put away in the first half and even in the second half. We have balls rolling across the front of the goal. So it's a bit frustrating from that perspective, because I thought, again, I said this last game too, I thought we played a really good game. And the way it works in football is if you don't score the goals that you should, the pressure on the back line starts mounting. And it takes one poor decision with the ball close to your goal to kill you, right? So, but again, I think there's a lot of good stuff, but again, it's just marred with the result. And at the end of the day, this game's about winning. And so again, I go back to that Tuesday. Are you on time? Are you disciplined? Because every moment in a football match is important. And tonight, in one moment, it cost us a game.
Yesterday, you mentioned that you needed the subs in this one to come on and really kind of bring it to a different level. And the goal comes within a minute after those 69th minute subs. I guess just from like a rotation lineups kind of standpoint, what did you see from kind of the different groups, the starting group versus the guys that came in?
I thought the starting group was good, really good. Some really good performances. And again, I think that goal, again, I think it was just a poor decision in a moment. And again, I think when you have a young group, this is how young players gain experience. Unfortunately, is you have to make mistakes, and that moment today really cost us. So, I thought the guys for the 70 minutes played extremely well. I think the guys that came in struggled to find the pace of the game, because it was a fast tempo game, and those games are difficult to come into. But again, quite a few things to take away from it. But the biggest thing for me is, again, is your commitment to your craft, and how bad do you want to be great? Like and it's doing all the things that nobody likes to do, right? It's a 24-hour job, and it's hard to speak to a younger group about it, having experienced it and myself. And unfortunately, you have to go through these moments as a group to gain the understanding of what the words spoken feel like. So if no one has experienced anything, the words are just words. But when they live the words, it resonates, and then you're looking for a change of behavior or not.
Marcos Pickett, RSL Bros. How do you get the guys ready to become prepared for this tough home opener against Seattle on Saturday?
Like I said, training tomorrow. And what I ask is, it's a Thursday training. There's going to be probably 12 guys out at the training center. The tempo needs to be fast. The execution needs to be great. The more we can recreate a game-like environment on a day where there's no fans, no one cares, that's, for me, is what greatness is doing all the little things when no one's around, right? So that's how we do it. We prepare the right way tomorrow. We prepare the right way Friday, and then we execute. Like I said, you have 18 shots inside the box. I'm dumbfounded by, at the end of the day, the guys need to put the ball in the back of the net. You know, it's because again, from box to box, it looks really, really good. Like we're creating the kind of opportunities we want, and we're just not getting enough out of that. So I just go back to the training field, and we've got to tighten things up, and we will.
Also, you saw Ajago get his first goal with the club. What does that mean for him moving forward?
Yeah, again, I think he's in the last couple of games, in particular in this series, he's had quite a few opportunities, and I think tonight, I think that was a goal that obviously takes a little bit of pressure off him. But again, you know, and maybe it's not fair that we're putting so much onus on him. Young player, just got to the club, and you know, it's a lot of responsibility for a young man. So I think him getting the goal and his movement in the box was fantastic. We'll validate all the work that he's been doing, and hopefully we can continue to build upon that.
Sean Walker from KSL, just to follow up on something that you said earlier, Pablo, do you feel like a lot of those young guys that you were talking about that kind of just need to experience something like this, do you feel like they really learn from that moment?
Well, again, if you feel terrible after a game, it's like what I'm trying to connect is this feeling that we have with a change of behavior. Right. And I'm not saying everyone, I'm just saying like little details of each individual can get better. And if we don't make this craft the most important thing in our lives, then I think these moments will fall by the wayside. But I feel like we have a bunch of character players in that locker room. Because again, if I'm saying if you did everything on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then it's okay to be upset on Saturday. But if you left anything, any meat on that bone during the week, then the frustration should be with yourself on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, but I do feel like we'll take this this moment, learn from it, and you know, we'll continue to improve as a group.
David James from KUTV and 97.5 The Zone. You had two teams set up to handle this schedule. Now you're not going to have a midweek game for 2 months. In your mind, you have a pretty good idea where you're going to go with one lineup? Is there still going to be heavy rotation even though you're playing once a week?
No, I think we'll solidify it quite a bit. And I think, again, this group that played tonight, I think has been excellent in the two legs. I really do. And where we struggled is where we struggled against San Jose was in the two boxes. But again, as far as the way we want the game to feel, I think this group was fantastic, and it allowed us to see, you know, players that maybe we wouldn't have been able to, you know, have as much eyes on. Guys like, you know, Kobe in the back, Sam Junkwa, I thought was excellent in the last couple games. Wolfie, you know, these kind of guys that have really shown. And have the opportunity to show. And I think now, moving forward, I think we have to solidify the group in order to build a better chemistry within the team, create competition within the team, and put our best group on the field to get results.
Are Diogo and Lachlan making steps forward now they have a camp underneath their belt? Have you seen more from them in these first couple of games than you saw at the end of last season?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think it's always difficult when you don't have a preseason. I think both. Again, I think Diogo has been playing extremely well in these two legs and has really been our and Maki as well. He had a really good preseason and continues to make strides. And so, you know, we'll see how they continue to progress. But we're going to need Diogo to be at his best in order to be the team that we can be.
Can you explain your thinking with some of the substitutions? Emeka rarely comes off. What were you thinking there?
Well, again, I think, you know, the game's 1-0. Ojeda's been great. He's probably been the standout in the preseason. And also with an eye. And Emeka was starting to wane a little bit, so eyes towards the weekend as well. And obviously, Diego had a big load at the weekend, making sure we get him some minutes so that he can go at the weekend as well. Who else? Dom was you know, he ran his tail off. He did some really good things today. And again, more from making sure that we have him as he was kind of petering out, and Wolfie had a great game against San Jose, so that was that sub. And then Gozo, again, just getting another, so bringing Gozo and Pablo in, it was really about now we're down a goal, so Gozo goes up top. Pablo can make from a deeper position and move Ojeda up a line to try to get more numbers in advantageous areas. So it was obviously tactically the way we wanted to approach the last 20 minutes of this game, but also finding moments to rest guys that were starting to fatigue quite a bit on the field tonight.
One last question.
Aaron, do you have a question? Go ahead. One last question. Do you have a question? No, I'm good.
Thank you, Pablo Mastroeni, for your time. A friendly reminder to media members that you can find the complete press conference for both Club Sporting Herediano and Real Salt Lake on the CONCACAF Media Hub platform. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yep.
Thanks, Pablo.